Hi, welcome to Audiobook Academy. This is a self-paced audiobook. There's no need to keep an eye on things. Just pay attention. Thank you for taking the time to listen. What are the characteristics of persons who constantly do well? What do they all have in common when they're at their best? It's not a distinct talent, nor is it a specific ability. It isn't even information. It's an attitude, specifically a growth mindset. Whether you want to test the limits or not based on your existing abilities to accomplish more, motivate, and lead others to achieve success, or hone your ability to flourish under adversity, your fuel is a developing mindset. We'll look at real-life instances in this course. Where individuals and organizations are located to achieve success, they employ a growth mindset. We'll also take a look at some recent and intriguing findings. Performance psychology is a branch of psychology that studies how people perform. Then we'll concentrate on how to put practical advice into practice. To your predicament, try to visualize as clearly as possible. Imagine you've just had a job interview for a position that you really desire. As you walk out of the interview room, you're feeling good. You're crossing your fingers that you'll get the part. You get a call a week later to say you were well liked by the interviewers. However, there was another person who got the position because they had greater experience. You know deep down that you have the necessary experience. However, it's possible that you didn't. In the interview, you were able to express yourself really well. You knew you'd be a perfect fit for the job. Your anxiety got the best of you in terms of planning and organization. If I asked you how you felt about the procedure, you would say, if you had an established attitude, you might believe you'll never get a part like this again. Your nerves will constantly get in the way of your success. You're also not very good at offering examples that demonstrate your expertise. This is due to the fact that persons with a fixed mindset are unable to change their opinions. Feel that their abilities and skills will not change. They've progressed to a certain point. They can expect to stay there for the foreseeable future. You'd feel like this in this situation. There isn't anything else you can do. You've gained the knowledge you've gained. And it's possible that you're one of them. That is more prone to nerve problems than others. On the other hand, if you had a growth attitude, you may have a different perspective on the problem. You may consider the event to be a letdown, but something from which you can learn. You can practice giving examples by doing so. You can learn how to conduct a successful interview. You can also improve your talents. That may assist you in dealing with your nerves. This is because those who have a growth attitude are more likely to succeed. Believe that ability and talent aren't fixed. This belief is supported by evidence. In truth, not only can one's aptitude and ability evolve through time, but so can one's personality. However, we have power over how we develop in order to achieve more. Learn more and improve in some aspects. They are significant to us. A growth mindset is all about continuing to learn throughout one's life, and a conviction in your own potential to improve and grow. Traditionally, research has concentrated on fixed costs. There is no difference between growth mindsets and fixed mindsets. What we now know is that you can veer naturally more towards a growth or a fixed mindset. However, a large number of people are I'm in the middle and have a mixed mindset. This suggests that your attitude is partly fixed and partly evolving. Circumstances, depending on the situation as well as how you feel about current events in your life. As a result, you might feel as if you have the potential to grow. Sometimes you'll have skills and talents, and other times you won't. You should strive to establish and develop a growth attitude. This will significantly boost your performance. Productivity, goal achievement, and happiness are all factors to consider. It's all about shifting your mindset to see things differently. Difficulties and disappointments as opportunities to grow and learn. It's about realizing that you can improve your abilities. Over time, your talents, abilities, and even your thinking will evolve. All it takes is a little effort and concentration. Your thinking has the power to alter your work performance, as well as in your personal life. The key is to figure out how to make the change in the direction of a growth mentality, and if you've already arrived, learning how to keep this perspective on the world even when confronted with difficulties. Those that have a growth attitude are more likely to succeed. Of accomplishment and ability, they have a much better chance of realizing their full potential. In order to reach goals and objectives, and to believe that they are in charge of their own achievement. Our minds have been wired for decades, according to scientists. That implied that you either had a skill or you didn't. It has everything to do with genetics. What we now know is that the brain is significantly more versatile than previously thought. Than we had anticipated. This implies that we are in command. We have control over our abilities and accomplishments, and we can make decisions. How we grow spiritually and physically, only a small portion of this is related to genetics. Or the skills and abilities that we are born with. If you're stuck in a rut, you have a broad perception that your potential is limited. Based on your present level of talent or ability, and you'll believe it's difficult to change. However, if you have a growth mindset, you feel that your abilities and skills will develop with time. With a laser-like focus and a lot of practice, the key to building a growth mentality is to start small. Is first and foremost recognizing your current state of mind, then figuring out what you can do in the future to strive toward creating a development mentality. There are a series of questions that will assist you in comprehending the situation. If you have a fixed or a progressive attitude in general, you may get the exercise file here. To assist you in finishing this, alternatively, you can simply follow along with me as I go over the examples. Consider the statements below. Then determine which of them you agree with and which you don't. You can't change your intelligence in most cases. Every one of us has a certain level. When you reach maturity, there are a variety of options available to you. Your skills don't alter that much. You have a specific amount of ability, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Continuing to learn new talents is difficult. If you put forth the effort, you can succeed. You have the ability to improve your IQ. You can always enhance your skills, even if it's in small increments. Even if you don't have a natural talent, you can still succeed. With dedicated practice, you can improve your talent levels. You have complete control over your ability to learn new talents. If you agreed with the first 4 assertions, continue reading. And the final 4 I didn't agree with, it's likely that you sway more than others in the direction of a rigid attitude. If you don't agree with the first 4 claims, keep reading. I agree with the last 4 points. You have a higher chance of having a growth attitude. Consider this for a moment. How do you feel about these assertions? Is it highlighting a fixed point? Or do you have a growth attitude in general? We understand that you may alternate between these 2 at times. But right now, what is your natural preference? It's critical to keep in mind that you're not alone. In command of your thoughts, you have the ability to alter your perspective of the world, as well as how you react to situations and occurrences. Developing a growth attitude and seeing challenges as opportunities, you will benefit from opportunities to learn if you take advantage of them. Help improve your focus and performance. It will also provide you with a sense of security. You have the feeling of being in charge of your own fate. Making the decision to perceive the world as a place where there's always something new to learn, and the ability to learn new things, as well as the ability to improve one's skills and talents to develop, can assist you in realizing your full potential. That's where you'll be able to make significant progress. Changing your mentality takes time, effort, and dedication. When it comes to how you think and process information, you have a lot of options. There isn't an easy cure for this. However, you can take modest steps in the direction of your desired transformation. That can have a significant impact over time. Depending just on talent, believe it or not, is not a viable option. Trying to achieve your objectives is a trap. The notion that you either have a skill or you don't is a dangerous one. Or you only have a limited amount of talent is a part of a set of beliefs. Your chances may be harmed if you think like this. Of pushing yourself to reach new heights and achieve more. One of the most significant concerns with a fixed worldview is its limitations. You impose on yourself in terms of what you are capable of and are unable to achieve. Assume you're a professional athlete. And you're looking for a way to push yourself to gain greater success in your sport. If you think you only have a certain amount of talent and skill, how likely are you to go above and beyond? Especially when it comes to improving one's talents. It takes a lot of effort to develop skills and abilities. Matthew Syed, an Olympian and author, recounts what is the most recent research in neuroscience and psychology. In the book Bounce, he discusses how to achieve success. A certain level of inherent talent is unsurprising. Can aid in the achievement of objectives. Surprisingly, the most important factor for success is actually a combination of skill and practice. Talent isn't enough on its own. If you wish to accomplish important objectives, using your current skills and talents, you won't be motivated to attain outcomes if you don't want to expand your knowledge, talents, and skills, and realize your full potential. This is why relying just on talent is a mistake. You've been duped into believing you have everything you need to move forward. However, you're overlooking several critical elements of practice, perseverance, and concentration. Developing a growth mentality does not negate the importance of talent. It just assists you in comprehending that you should strive to achieve more and fulfill your full potential. You must concentrate on learning and progress. I believe we all know someone who has a lot of potential but doesn't put it to good use to achieve what they believe is feasible. They are not striving to achieve their full potential, and very probably don't think in terms of growth. It's also worth thinking about the study of talent and accomplishments. You're significantly more likely to achieve difficult objectives and targets with mediocre abilities backed up by a commitment to practice and a laser-like focus, instead of depending only on outstanding talent. With no intention of honing abilities to help you improve your skills, consider your mindset. When it comes to achieving your goals in an area that is significant to you. To begin, think about your skill levels. Do you consider yourself to be particularly gifted in this area? Or do you think you're a mediocre performer? Second, how would you characterize your dedication to improve your abilities? What is your preference, high, medium, or low? Finally, what can you do to improve your abilities? Is it necessary for you to concentrate on harnessing? Isn't it more so if you have a natural talent? Or would it be beneficial to you to improve your focus with a commitment to honing talents that will help you develop your skills? What does this say about your attitude toward growth? Are you relying solely on skill and a lack of practice? Or do you consider yourself to have a growth mindset, and you're dedicated to improving your abilities and you're always learning new things? Remember that an average talent, ability, or skill level is not the same as an exceptional talent, ability, or skill level. When it comes to personal development, isn't an impediment. Developing a growth mindset will assist you in comprehending regardless of your current level of talent, you can put in more effort to learn and achieve more. Growing up is a big part of any form of development. Overcoming obstacles and venturing into uncharted territory. The same may be said about cultivating a growth mindset. You're about to go on an adventure into the unknown. Whenever you take on a new project, there will be some trial and error. As you put your new skills and knowledge into practice, the difficulties you may have as a result of this are a side effect. As well as the chance of making blunders, you feel as if you've failed. The good news is that you can learn from your mistakes and failures and challenges to your benefit. It's all about shifting your viewpoint on things. As part of the development of a growth mindset, learning new information, of course, is a must. Widening your horizons and honing your abilities can result in enormous benefits. And this process can be completely painless at times. There could also be a few potholes along the way. The idea is to be ready for any obstacles that may arise. Accept that you may fail as you begin to put your plan into action. Putting new ideas and skills into action, you must also be aware of how to make decisions that are not in your best interests. Always paying off is a necessary element of the process. In fact, rather than simply admitting the possibility of mistakes, if you can learn to like failure, you'll be well on your way to success. You'll develop a method of thinking that will help you succeed. This implies that you arm yourself with psychological resources to deal with setbacks and learn to pivot, turning adversity into an opportunity to learn. Learning how to cultivate a mindset of continual improvement will aid in the development of your growth attitude. The goal is to develop a system that will allow you to do just that. You extend your horizons, broaden your talents, try out new ideas, keep track of your progress, and make adjustments to improve your future performance. This can be seen as a process if you look at it that way. It's almost as if it's a scientific experiment. It aids in the de-emotionalization of the situation. When things do not go according to plan, this allows you to look at things objectively. Consider your efforts as a test. It can also lessen the stigma and emotional reaction. Making errors or even failing is something we frequently identify with. When you're ready to broaden your horizons again, keep these tips in mind. Then put your newfound knowledge into action. Spend some time developing your own test experiment procedure. To begin, make sure you understand exactly what you're testing. What abilities are you honing? Or, more specifically, what knowledge are you putting into practice? And, most importantly, consider why. This is critical for you. What are your objectives? Second, establish a review procedure. Check in on a regular basis to see what's working and what hasn't. What has worked well and what hasn't. Remember to maintain as much objectivity as possible. Not only should you enjoy your victories, but you should also rejoice the fact that you've made it this far. If things don't go as planned, you've tried. Third, think about how you may improve your approach. What changes do you think you could make? What did you learn that will help you in the future? In order to obtain a better outcome in the future? What won't you try once more because it simply didn't work out? Finally, consider how you'll repeat the process. This really basic procedure over and over again. Make a schedule in your calendar. Make the decision to start your own evaluation process. Recognize that things don't always go as planned. Establishing a robust review procedure, as well as taking care of your growth and development. As though you were doing a scientific experiment to cultivate a growth mentality that works, it will also set you up for a lifetime of learning, assisting you in transforming problems into learning opportunities. If you want to cultivate a growth mentality, read on. That allows you to thrive and achieve your objectives and strive to improve in all areas that are essential to you. It's critical to maintain a positive mindset, as well as the ability to generate chances. Of course, possibilities do present themselves from time to time. Perhaps as a result of your earlier efforts, maybe it's just a stroke of luck. However, the greatest method to improve your odds is to of discovering new and exciting opportunities is to take charge and make them happen for yourself. Assume you wish to advance in your career. You're ready to take the next step, aren't you? You're not sure where to begin though. Is it the most effective strategy to rely on the tactic? Hoping that someone would see your potential and assists you in taking the next step? Or would you prefer to be in charge of your own destiny? Determine what you must do in order to go to the next stage, and devise a strategy for achieving it. According to psychological studies, because having a high level of self-assurance boosts your self-assurance, as a result, your odds of achieving your objectives improve. Simply said, Henry Ford was accurate. If you believe you can, he said. Alternatively, if you believe you can't, you are correct. When we discuss optimism, we're not talking about wishful thinking. If you want to be successful, you must achieve your objectives, improve your abilities, and change your mentality. The most efficient means of accomplishing this is to take a positive and practical approach. This entails pushing yourself to new limits. Faith in your abilities to grow and achieve greater success, while also having a methodical and deliberate approach to making it happen rather than just hoping everything will come into place. If you believe you have what it takes to gain new knowledge and abilities, and you have influence over your own development and growth both in your private and professional lives, you've adopted a growth attitude. Being receptive to new possibilities is the first step on the road to success. The following stage is to create those opportunities. This can be accomplished by doing a simple exercise. Take some time to think about it first. What you hope to accomplish. This is how you see things. Second, come up with a mission statement. Why is it critical that you succeed? What exactly does that imply to you? It's best if you can be as emotive as possible here. You want to be completely committed to your mission, as it will assist you in moving forward, even if the terrain is difficult. Finally, make specific goals for yourself. It will assist you in achieving your goal. You want to make sure your objectives are challenging for you, assist you in your development, and are attainable. Requires concentration and effort. Fourth, write down what you'll do to achieve each aim. In order to make this a reality, what exactly do you need to know? What are the skills you need to improve? Who do you need to contact for assistance? Finally, how will you assess your success? Describe how you'll know whether you've met your objectives. Your guidance is your vision. Your optimism is your objective. Your objectives, strategies, and metrics are the means through which you will make opportunities for yourself. When it comes to the development of leaders, according to study, people who have a growth mentality are more likely to succeed. Those with a fixed perspective have significantly less potential. It's a crucial component of effective leadership that companies like Microsoft put a lot of money towards in assisting leaders in developing a growth mentality. This is due to the fact that it is a necessary component in realizing one's full potential and pushing one's current ability and building high-performing groups. In fact, Satya Nadella has made it one of his top priorities. Who is Microsoft's CEO? Is to change Microsoft's corporate culture, becoming something that appreciates and rewards learning and development on a continuous basis. Now, you may have heard about a leadership myth. Leaders are not created, they are born. This concept implies that you either have the ability or you don't. You either have the ability and skill to be a leader or you don't. This kind of thinking is the polar opposite. To cultivate a growth attitude. In fact, research has entirely disproved this theory. It may be easier for some people than for others to take on a leadership position. However, anyone can do it. To hone and build leadership abilities, to be a good leader, you must possess certain qualities. The most crucial is, without a doubt, implementing a growth strategy. When it comes to leadership, a flexible perspective is preferable to a fixed thinking. What does developing a growth mindset entail? What does being a leader entail in practice? There are a few crucial principles to remember. To begin, reward and promote learning. By means of try and error when it comes to project management, teamwork, and development, you won't always have the perfect solution right away. As a result, it is critical to test and experiment different ways. Encouragement should be the main focus. And praising clever bets, whether they pay off or not, especially if they provide new information. This can assist the company in moving forward. Pixar Animation Studios president Ed Catmull has instilled a culture in the White House that not only accepts mistakes and shortcomings, but also encourages others to do so. Rather of condemning them, it praises them. Second, learn to mature into your leadership role. You'll learn more as time goes on regarding the type of leader you are, as well as the type of leader you aspire to be. No one becomes a leader overnight. With all of your skills, powers, and vision, they're going to need it more than they're going to need it. With a growth attitude, you can do anything. As a leader, you'll be constantly learning and growing. That is the positive and humble approach. In order to achieve leadership success. Third, don't wait for all the answers. Instead, learn as you go. If you wait until you're certain of what you're doing, you'll be disappointed. Before you can feel comfortable leading individuals and initiatives, you must first gain confidence in yourself. You're never going to be ready. The important thing is to keep learning as you go. Along the road, I'm figuring out what I'm going to do next. Fourth, get comments from others. If you want to improve at anything, start with the basics. You must seek out the opinions of others. You want to know how you come across, what you excel in, and how you might help others, and where you might be able to grow as a leader. Fifth, your strategy should be fluid and responsive. Make yourself at ease with the idea of altering your mind. And a strategy for achieving results. Explicitly stating that you will not always know the answers, and you're receptive to new ideas and viewpoints. This could influence the strategy you adopt. Will have a favorable impact on how your coworkers perceive you. It will also give your team the knowledge they need. They can assist you in developing the approach. Leaders, as you may know, are created rather than born. You don't have to be born with the ability to lead. All you have to do now is apply the principles. It can assist you in growing and leading. Having a growth mentality is a great way to start. If you want to cultivate a growth mentality, here are some tips. You must be adaptable in your approach to problems and the steps you take to reach your objectives. A flexible attitude allows you to adjust your viewpoint, to see obstacles as possibilities as well as failures as necessary steps on the route of development and learning. Also important are adaptation and flexibility. When it comes to honing one's own creative abilities and creativity, both of which are important characteristics connected with having a growth mentality, is a great way to start. What does it take to develop a flexible way of thinking? There are 4 major aspects to consider. Acceptance is the first step. This entails accepting prior events that did not proceed as planned. So well in recognizing the possibility of making mistakes as you grow and learn. Second, define explicit objectives while remaining flexible. In the manner in which you attain them, it's critical to work toward objectives when it comes to cultivating a growth mentality. However, it's also critical to comprehend there may be numerous approaches to achieving a goal. This allows you to see that it might not be the case. A straight line from your current location reach your desired destination. You can alter your strategy and course of action at any time and still achieve the end goal you set for yourself. Third, get in the habit of shifting your viewpoint. Developing the ability to recognize situations, events, and people. Addressing issues from several angles can assist you to create the tools necessary to learn from problems. This also allows you to consider other options of taking risks and doing things that are out of your comfort zone. Fourth, master the art of balancing opposing demands. Life's expectations, needs, and desires. It's possible that all of your energy is concentrated on one thing at a time. A significant project at work, sometimes it'll be about your personal life, and other times it'll be about your family. You may be required to participate in initiatives on occasion. Things give you a jolt of energy, whereas at other times, being in a peaceful environment may be beneficial to you. I'd like to issue a challenge to you: put your adaptable mentality into action. Take some time over the following few days to reflect, to identify 1 to 3 major objectives you intend to focus on in the coming month. Then, make a plan for how you're going to get there. To achieve these objectives, describe your strategy, or how you'll attain your objectives, and measures which will be used to determine your success. You can use the goal-setting planner sheet to help you achieve your objectives. To assist you with this, as a result, one of your objectives could be to take the lead in a project. A huge project that will push you to your limits, learn new talents, and assist others in gaining experience to assist you in furthering your career. Proposing a project is an example of a tactic. Locating a project to work on, etc. Or you may have already made plans for it. Other strategies include forming a project team, putting together a project plan, or obtaining senior sponsorship of your undertaking. The tactic will determine the measurements. As a result, drafting a project plan would be the first step. A strategic plan that is quite extensive. Deadlines and duties and responsibilities, task allocation and accountability are 2 important factors to consider. Once you've done that, you can move on to the next step. Once a week, take some time to assess your progress, then think about how adaptable your thinking is. You should think about where you've gone wrong. That might be a good thing to learn from. Were you adaptable in your approach to achieving your objectives? Or will you have to alter your strategy? How have diverse points of view aided your understanding the problem in a new way, which could lead to as a result of you changing your mind or attitude. How have you managed to balance demands in all areas? A part of your life to assist you in achieving your objective. Consider where these things have gone well in the past. The final stage is to think about how you're going to do it. You could do more of these things if you wanted to. That is what a growth mindset is all about. Learning comes from putting ideas into practice and taking something away from others. The ability to improve via experience in the future, your performance will be evaluated. Your mindset, on the other hand, isn't quite as fixed. Or fixed, as the case may be. Just as your feelings can shift over time, so can your opinions. The way you think, feel, and react to circumstances can all change. If you want to work, this is fantastic news. In the direction of cultivating a growth mentality, on the other hand, because your thinking can shift, it's also possible to revert to a fixed attitude. If you were previously there, this implies that you must make a commitment. To cultivate and maintain a growth mentality during the course of time, your thoughts will be largely determined by your beliefs. You'll believe you're capable to learn new abilities or not to learn new talents. You'll believe you're in command. How you react to things, or how you don't. Our convictions are so ingrained in us that it may take some time to change them. The most important thing is to comprehend. To cultivate a growth mentality, consider the following suggestions. You must alter your way of thinking and the ability to process data. However, maybe more importantly, you must make a long-term commitment to this. There isn't an easy cure for this. It's a slow, deliberate procedure that takes time. The only way to keep your focus on cultivating a growth mentality is to keep it as a top priority, thinking about where you're putting your money on a frequent basis. Is it better to have a progressive attitude or a fixed mindset? Throughout various aspects of your existence to determine whether or not you have a growth mentality. Consider where you've encountered difficulties as learning opportunities and the places where you've seized opportunities to improve or perfect one's skills, knowledge, or talents. On the other hand, where have you found this to be a challenge? This is where having a set mindset helps. Consider whether you discovered yourself. If you're stuck in a rut in some aspect of your life, repeating the same actions again and over, although no meaningful progress is being made, where you believe you've accomplished everything you'll ever do, maybe you've hit the limit of your skills. It's also a good idea to solicit comments from others. How adaptable you are in the face of adversity, where you concentrated on gaining knowledge from difficult conditions, when you appear to be self-assured in the development of your abilities. The trick is to seek advice from people you can trust. You want them to be completely honest. This is an excellent activity for assisting you to view yourself through the eyes of others. You may believe you aren't very good when it comes to using a growth mentality. Others, on the other hand, may hold a different viewpoint. And the other way around. If you're looking for advice on how to ask for feedback, look no further. Take a look at my course on the subject. Finally, you want to make a commitment to not just cultivate a growth attitude, but also to keep this perspective for a long period. Examining your mental state on a regular basis, and where you can make improvements, is an aspect of progress in and of itself. There's always something new to learn. You can accomplish a lot more. What is your current state of mind, according to you? Are you more inclined to the fixed or growth end of the spectrum? Is it a combination of the two? Finally, what options do you have to cultivate and sustain a growth mindset? It takes time to develop a growth attitude. It's not going to happen just by watching this video. The best way to secure your growth is to, after that, keep a growth mentality. Is to put the abilities you've learned into practice, connected with a purposeful growth mindset. You must practice honing your abilities on purpose, ability, and confidence, and you'll have to come up with a compelling justification to take part in that activity. Putting oneself in uncomfortable situations when you know you'll have to overcome challenges, however, you will get knowledge from the situation, is a methodical technique. You can face some difficulties and inconvenience. However, you are aware that there is a cause for it. The experience will aid in the development of the individual. Your attitude toward long-term development, that is, after all, what a purpose is. A compelling cause for acting in a given manner. Recognizing that no experience is ever wasted, if you can learn something from it, that's great. Is also an important aspect of cultivating a growth mentality. When you consider the experience of learning on the job, experimenting with new methods of doing things, and seeing a growth mindset as a journey rather than a destination encourages you to relax and enjoy the process of pushing yourself to progress. It also implies that you can include a playful aspect. If things don't go as planned, it's possible that you've made a mistake. Maybe you don't succeed the first time you try anything. That's all right. It's a journey of discovery. Hopefully you'll learn something from the experience that will be beneficial to you in the future. It helps you to concentrate on developing a growth attitude. A pleasurable and fulfilling experience, rather than just chasing after it a predetermined endpoint in the future. Even if you're dead serious about your eventual aim, you can begin to appreciate the journey. Not just the end result. As you begin to develop goals, set aside some time on a regular basis to review them. Once a week or once a month, for example. To think about what you're doing. What does it mean to you? That you accomplish what you set out to do. What a focused individual you've been. In putting your growth mindset into practice, consider how many times you've put yourself in difficult situations that push you beyond your comfort zone, that you're confident will push your abilities and skills. Is this something you're doing enough of to help you grow? Is it possible for you to do more of this? What you've discovered. When things don't go exactly as planned, or if you believe you've made a mistake, what did you learn from that experience? Are you concentrating on what you can learn from setbacks? Is it possible for you to do more of this? Being in the now. There's a delicate balance to be struck between focusing on the end result and focusing on the process. And taking pleasure in the present moment and the path you're on. Are you concentrating on both of these factors? Appreciating the road rather than just the end result? It's simple to concentrate on the end result. However, you may miss out on all of the adventures along the road. If that's all you're concerned with, are you taking the time to congratulate yourself on tiny victories? And congratulate yourself on making it thus far? Of attempting to achieve your objectives? Adding a sense of direction to your mission. The importance of cultivating a development mindset is essential in assisting you on your journey of lifelong learning. What could you do to keep your concentration on your goal? To help you maintain your growth mindset? When Steve Jobs was in college, he was a student at Stanford University. He happened to go into a calligraphy lesson by chance. It was a topic that piqued my curiosity. But he didn't give it much thought. Jobs was still developing several years later. A groundbreaking word processor. I received a jolt of inspiration. Isn't it wonderful if you could write? Instead of one-size-fits-all fonts, use a variety of typefaces. Thing was on the market at the time. If Steve Jobs had been interested in word processing, he would have studied it. He was unlikely to have learned at the time anything to do with calligraphy or fonts of the fantastic. He, on the other hand, was eager to learn about enigmatic and bizarre thoughts. These fields piqued my curiosity for no other reason. And as a result of that learning experience, purely for the pleasure of learning rather than enrolling in courses that lead to a diploma, he irrevocably altered the course of word processing with his inventiveness. We can instantly assume when we think of learning. To achieve that end aim, we must study. The process of learning a new skill, knowledge, or ability. Consider our educational systems. We study in order to pass a test or get a desired result. Studying is not the same as learning. In addition, when it comes to cultivating a growth mindset, studying isn't the most efficient strategy. Exploration is at the heart of learning. Putting fresh ideas and methods to the test. As well as pursuing subjects that pique your interest, you want to study more for no other reason than you sincerely want to. Developing a positive mindset necessitates a desire to study throughout the rest of one's life. This entails trying out new things, as well as challenges, as a chance to learn something new. The principle of lifelong learning broadens your horizons, assisting you in making contacts between several forms of notions and ideas. This, in turn, leads to increased creativity, as well as problem-solving abilities. A focus on lifelong learning is also beneficial. To develop a mindset in which you view problems, obstacles should be viewed as learning opportunities. In order to improve your abilities, knowledge, and capabilities, it's all a part of having a positive mindset. It's all about developing a habit of lifelong learning. You won't always be sure what to study. It can also happen by accident, and can vary depending on the situation you're in. The most effective technique to form a habit is to concentrate on it. A weekly check-in is the best method to achieve this. Every day, set aside 10 minutes in your diary. Consider what you've learned thus far. What's new in the last 24 hours? This might be anything, such as a random article you read, or something else entirely. A LinkedIn post that drew your attention, a discussion you had with another person, a video clip that you came across. The most important thing to remember is to keep learning in mind. It isn't necessary to plan ahead of time, or in a field in which you already work or have experience. What drew you to this information? It's possible that the data is incorrect. What you've learned has taught you something regarding the field in which you operate, or a personal experience you're having. Or it could simply be a fascinating truth. How am I going to make a commitment to learning more? From a diverse set of sources? This could involve things like reading. Every day, read fascinating blogs or an industry magazine. It can entail reading a particular number of books each month, or by listening to a variety of podcasts. You want to make sure you're taking in everything you can. Information from a wide variety of sources. The key to developing a development mindset is to focus on the positive aspects of life. Is instilling a desire to learn for the rest of one's life? Is this a skill you've honed? Or a project you'd like to tackle? If you want to cultivate a growth mentality, here are some tips. You must concentrate on the past, present, and future. Your prior events have shaped who you are now. Also, how you think and act will determine at the present moment whether or not you stay on course with cultivating a growth attitude. Goals you work towards will be influenced by how you see your future, as well as your accomplishments. Frequently, when we make a change, it has to do with how we think, and how we think about things. We concentrate on what we can do to take action right now. This is a fantastic plan. However, in order to be successful in cultivating a development mentality, you must understand how your past has influenced you. What you're doing now, and how you're anticipating things. What you do next is guided by your vision of the future. In order to cultivate a growth mentality, acceptance of the past is the first step. This is about accepting things as they are when they don't go as planned. If adversity has pushed you off track, it's critical to draw lessons from the past, but not to linger on it. Spending too much time contemplating is a drawback. It takes your energy to think about past events, and you may not be able to devote time right now to work on improving your mentality. Spending an excessive amount of time, you may have felt stuck in the past. The trick is to think about what has happened in the past and what you've learned from those experiences. Being happy with what you've accomplished so far will allow you to glean morsels of knowledge to assist you in your growth. Today, we're concentrating on cultivating a learning mindset. Will have the most impact on the development of a growth mindset. It will relieve the strain of having to be perfect. When things don't go as planned, you'll be less disappointed. It takes deliberate effort to develop a growth mentality. Choosing your reaction to events, as well as how you'll transform obstacles into chances, as well as what you hope to gain from each situation. It takes effort and forethought. It's also crucial to concentrate on having fun, rather than thinking all the time concerning the past or the future. It's crucial to have a positive outlook about your future. This will assist you in strengthening your faith in your ability to improve your results. With focused practice and reflection, you'll be able to accomplish more. Your actions today will have an impact on your future. So, if you know what you want to achieve, go for it. You can start doing something about it right now. Consider your past for a moment. How easy is it for you to accept the events of the past? Even the ones that you find difficult? What situations did you learn from in the past? These situations may be distressing. However, it is critical to put these experiences to good use. To gain knowledge, how well do you accept responsibility for your mistakes? We all make mistakes. Do you consider yourself to be the owner of these? And deal with the ramifications? Take a moment to consider where you are right now. Do you plan ahead of time? How will you develop your growth mindset? Do you think about your accomplishments and challenges? Are you putting what you've learned to good use? To how you'll approach difficulties and activities in the future? How effectively do you concentrate on the present, as well as what you're doing now, rather than reminiscing about the past or anticipating the future? After that, consider your future. How upbeat are you about your prospects? How well do you set objectives for yourself? Are these objectives challenging for you? And continue to learn? Do you feel you can acquire new talents, abilities, or knowledge, and the information you'll need to attain your objectives? Accepting the past while learning in the present and having a positive outlook on the future will assist you in order to cultivate a growth mentality. Which of these areas do you think you could improve? To improve your mental state? Qualities or abilities make up your potential that, if developed, will result in future success or utility. There's no limit to what can be accomplished in the future. It takes time to realize your full potential. And if you want to be a proponent of cultivating a development mindset, it's possible that the voyage will never finish. The pleasure of working for your full potential is the result of your efforts along the way, the objectives you'll achieve, and the steps you'll take to broaden your horizons, and the steps you'll take to get there to help you grow outside of your comfort zone. People have believed for decades that a person's potential is limited, is determined by a natural level of ability. To put it another way, they thought you were born given a predetermined potential. All your accomplishments are merely the product of your inherent abilities. According to research, potential is malleable, changeable, and expandable. Limits can be pushed and stretched throughout time. Our potential isn't realized, rather, it's nurtured. With the assistance of targeted learning activities, concentrating on maximizing your potential contains a slew of favorable side effects. This has the potential to affect both your personal and professional life. For starters, you'll probably feel more motivated. According to research, that as we progress in learning a skill, if that's combined with a feeling of purpose, you've got yourself a winner. As well as assuming responsibility for accomplishing results, your motivation will be increased. Furthermore, being inspired can assist you in taking action and put in the effort to achieve your objectives. The next step is to maximize your potential. As well as developing your growth mindset will assist you in becoming immersed in activities, anything you find enjoyable. In the field of psychology, there's a phrase that goes like this: this is flow, and, in a perfect world, everyone desires to be in a state of flow. This is where you participate in various activities that will challenge you while also keeping you interested and absorbed so much so that everything else fades away. It's pleasurable to be in a condition of flow. Research studies show that if you have this problem, you're a lot more likely to be content. A growth mindset goes hand in hand with potential, creativity, and a growth attitude. We all know that exercise boosts creativity. As you concentrate on realizing your full potential, creativity is a valuable commodity in today's job. It's also a crucial talent to master. Working with inventiveness can also assist you in properly dealing with issues, improving your problem-solving abilities. Whatever it is that you desire to improve at, practice with the goal of improving your skills and abilities is necessary. Whether you want to boost your income or not, your self-assurance in public speaking, or if you want to enhance your tennis serve, you must take deliberate, well-thought-out, and consistent steps to push your abilities to their limits. Working toward your goals enhances happiness in general. Finally, having a growth attitude is critical in the process of attaining this. This entails learning how to create and then sustain a product. Your mindset for growth is a great spot to begin your quest. of improving one's performance. In reality, reaching your full potential is nearly impossible. Without a growth attitude and a commitment to lifelong learning, take some time to consider your areas of strength. It's likely that you have untapped talent in this area. Consider establishing goals that are essential to you. What can you accomplish with a little hard work? When you consider your future, do you have a sense of control? Of how you intend to achieve your objectives? According to Abraham Lincoln, creating your own future is the best method to forecast it. Whatever you wish to accomplish, developing a growth mentality will assist you in achieving your goals. You might be wondering how I'm so convinced about this. It's also straightforward. A growth mentality is based on a philosophy. Is figuring out a way to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, study more, improve your abilities, and transform obstacles into possibilities. All of these elements are necessary. If you wish to achieve your objectives, they're also under your power. That is to say, you have the power to help you shape your future. You may not be sure how you'll develop and evolve, or a specified period of time when possibilities will present themselves. What you can foresee is how you will proceed. Your objectives and targets, you don't always have control over the outcome. However, you are in charge of the path to get there. It's crucial to take pleasure in the voyage. Concentrating on being upbeat, you must have faith in your ability to learn, and see each encounter as a chance to learn. Take some time to consider your long-term objectives that you could have. How can you foresee your own future and make certain you achieve these objectives? Consider the next 5 to 10 years first. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you wish to see and do? What activities, connections, or outcomes are you looking for? Will be really significant to you? If you want to make a complete career transition in the coming 5 years, you might want to think about the steps you'll need to take. In order to accomplish this, you must devise a strategy for doing this. This preparation will aid in the development of your self-assurance. Second, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself? 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, how confident are you in your ability to achieve your long-term objectives? If you don't feel in charge of your own destiny, what steps do you need to take to make this happen? You might wish to set weekly and monthly goals for yourself. It will assist you in achieving your long-term objective. You might also wish to consider other options to improve your self-assurance so that you can be more powerful to take action and believe that you are in control of your future. Third, how do you intend to cope with obstacles? How would you ensure that you gain knowledge from the experience and aren't thrown off track? If you wish to make a complete career transition, you will undoubtedly meet difficulties. It's possible that you're unsure of what you need to learn or how to create a brand new network. It's likely that some trial and error will be required. You might want to consider it prior to embarking on your journey. As a result, you're prepared to face challenges, accepting that difficulties will arise and utilizing them to your benefit. It will benefit you to learn something new, to keep on course even when the going gets rough. Fourth, how will you ensure that you have a good time on the journey? You must commit to make your dreams a reality, and you believe you have the potential to grow knowledge, networks, and skills. You must make your objectives a reality. The greatest approach to ensure that you have a good time on your journey is to plan ahead, is to maintain one eye on your main objective. Also pay attention to your modest victories and savoring everyday moments. What can you do right now to ensure that this happens? You're shaping the future you wish to live in. The truth is that you will go through changes as you attempt to cultivate a growth mindset. This could be due to a shift in circumstances. The way you think or see the world is referred to as your thinking style. When dealing with uncharted territory of any kind, you can feel a variety of emotions. This can be thrilling at times. It could be intimidating and unsettling. Change isn't always a good thing. Routine, whether we like it or not, can help us relax. It also provides us a sense of control. Being aware of what is to come in our lives provides us a feeling of assurance. We know how to deal with situations since we've done it before. as well as the challenges that we face. We often find it unsettling. To have our daily routines disrupted, we can have a sense of being out of our depth. And clinging to the comforts of home, however, if you want to take your life to the next level, you'll have to go through some changes. This is all about negotiating an ever-changing circumstance. You can't change your mind without undergoing a time of transition, because the concepts are based on the acquisition of new talents as well as pushing your limits, both of which necessitate a shift in mindset, thinking style and concentration. When we encounter something new, we become curious. Our defenses may raise and we may experience apprehensions. However, change is an inevitable element of life. So, how can we improve our navigation skills? Accept the change and any discomfort at first. It won't help if you try to hide from the unpredictability of circumstances. Accepting your emotions without condemnation indicates that you are not attempting to manipulate the experience. Rather, you're allowing it to happen with the knowledge that it will pass. And comprehension, you'll have there were some positive takeaways from the event. This will make whatever you're feeling less intense. Second, figure out what's causing your suffering. What is it about a given setting that attracts you? Something makes you feel a little uneasy? You are not obligated to change your feelings. However, comprehending why you feel the way you do is essential. Will assist you in developing a strategy for dealing with these emotions. Perhaps you can concentrate on allowing the emotion to pass. Perhaps you might work on shifting your viewpoint. As a result, events have less of an impact on you. Third, make the decision to be upbeat. Yes, you can choose to be optimistic. Even when times are difficult or conditions are difficult, you can learn to regard these incidents as opportunities to learn, as well as chances for growth and development. Fourth, look for help. Seek out people who will support you on your trip, and tell them about your experience. You want to speak with people who can assist you. To listen and respond to challenges. Providing direction and providing a beneficial perspective. Fifth, keep in touch with one another throughout the process. It's not always easy to turn off the lights. And don't bring up how uneasy you are. Thoughts aren't always as frightening when we talk about them. As a result, concentrating on communication across it is critical to go through the process of changing your mentality. Change is unavoidable while cultivating a growth attitude. With a shifting landscape, it's even more challenging. Uncomfortable feelings are common. It's all a part of the procedure. If you can predict how you'll feel, you'll be in a better position. It's important to realize that this is a common reaction to creating a mindset. And then devise a strategy for dealing with the situation. You'll put yourself in a position to succeed. Being well prepared is frequently the key to success. To efficiently navigate any new circumstance, what can you do to get ready for the emotions that you might be able to achieve by altering your mindset? You now have all of the information you require to get started right immediately on creating your growth mindset. The rest is all up to you. Take a time to consider how dedicated you are to the development of a growth mindset. As you may be aware, the nature of building a development mindset is complex. Indicates you'll have highs and lows. You'll have to overcome obstacles and push yourself. Stepping out of your comfort zone. Are you ready to take on this challenge? To broaden your knowledge and abilities, to boost your efficiency, and want to be more successful in both your career and personal life? Now, in the spirit of getting things done, as well as making things happen, consider something you can do right now that will assist you on your journey to cultivate a growth attitude. You might want to go back and watch some of the earlier segments of this course once more. You could concentrate on making effective goals. Perhaps you'd like to start a new habit of establishing a truly rigorous review procedure to see how you're getting along with what you're attempting to do. So, what's the one thing you're going to do right now? As well as other courses that could help you on your way to being a better person. I hope to hear from you shortly. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in next audiobook. Hi, welcome to Audio.